Edgar here doing a review on a handgun most of you will probably be surprised to see me holding, which is a Glock. In general, I tend to like metal frame weapons, and truth be told, I kind of like the older ones. I think that they speak to me a bit more. But some people ask me about what about the Glocks. So I'm going to do a what about them. First, just make sure that you can see that, yeah, it's empty. Now, the Glock was actually designed by an engineer who looked at handguns and decided that they were absurdly complex and that he could do a better job of coming up with something that would fire those bullets. So he proceeded to do so, and the fact is, he did. He succeeded. The Glock's internal mechanisms are incredibly simple, and they are extremely reliable. There's no question about that. I mean, first let's just simply look at the takedown. All you do is you pull it back a little bit, pull these nibs down, pull her forward, and that's it. And while we're at it, look at those internals. I mean, there are very few pieces in this handgun. It's astonishingly simple and astonishingly reliable. Put it back on. I mean, it's so simple, even a child can do it. Isn't that the old story about the AK-47? I guess, I know some fellows have said that the Makarov is the AK-47 of handguns, but I would submit, although more expensive, it's probably the Glock, because anyone can handle a Glock. You know, when you look at it, you can see that it's very utilitarian. I'll say some of the things I like about it. For a plastic gun, it actually seems to hold pretty well. The weight of the slide has a nice feel to it. And when you take a look at the profile, the slide is down low enough towards your hand that you don't get as much felt recoil as you might think you would with something that has this light a frame. So the ergonomics on that is actually quite good. General looks, it's blocky. This blockiness bothers me. Aesthetically, it just doesn't appeal to my old guy handguns. I will say, though, that I love the sights. I find the sights highly visible, very easy to sight in, and I find that it's quite easy to shoot. It's reasonably accurate. I've heard people say, well, the Glocks really aren't very accurate. Well, that's poppycock. They're actually plenty accurate. In fact, they're about as accurate as any other handgun I have, with possible exception of some of my .22 pistols that are really more along the line of target weapons. So, all right, it's really a pretty nice weapon in a lot of ways. Very, very reliable. I will say that to me, it looks like an engineer built it. You know, frankly, it doesn't look like a guy who's a lover of handguns made this thing. It's someone who decided he was going to make a handgun that worked well from an engineer standpoint, and he did a good job of that. I don't like the looks of the Glocks, sorry, but I do like their reliability. From the one other thing that I will say that I do not like, I really don't like Glock triggers. I find them mildly painful. There's something about the angle and the sweep of that trigger that pulls my finger down and hits against the guard. And I find it rubs on my finger. I just don't like the feel of the triggers at all. It's a very short throw when it's cocked. You can just pull it back and you hear that snap. It's got a very crisp snap. But I don't find it comfortable. So what do I say? I like the reliability. I like in general the ergonomics as far as how it feels. I really don't like the looks, and I pretty much hate the trigger. But I am going to do a range review on this, so I appreciate you watching this review part 1 and hope that you watch my review part 2 on the range. I think you will find the range review pretty interesting. Anyway, this is Edgar, and I thank you for watching.